Parkfield is a town cut out of time. Or perhaps it would be more honest to say that it exists within its own time, a time both geologic and human, in which the minutes are marked primarily in terms of waiting for the earthquake that never comes. An unincorporated community in Monterrey County found northeast of Paso Robles and southwest of Coalinga. The whole place has been transformed by such a process, yet in another way, barely transformed at all. If this seems like one more contradiction, it might be the contradiction most fundamental to the way we live in California, which is why I've traveled the 3 hours north from Los Angeles, to find out if I can trace a pattern of reconciliation in a landscape suspended between myth and science, along the hardscrabble incision of the San Andreas Fault. The tricky thing about the San Andreas is that, after more than a century of notoriety, it exists in equal measure as topography and symbol, by turns a physical and psychological dividing line. For all that it may cut a dramatic gash, an infamous fracture, I can count on one hand the people I know who have actually seen it. Except, that is, for those in the seismological community. Instead, despite its looming omnipresence in the psyche of Californians, the fault continues to occupy for most of us the territory of imagination, like a giant geological bogeyman. Above my desk, beside a shake map of the Northridge earthquake, hangs an enhanced photograph, taken from the space shuttle Endeavour, of the San Andreas as it runs along the San Gabriel Mountains near Palmdale. In the center of the shot, you can see the fault, see the scarps and ridges as they rise on either side of it, see the terrain spell itself out like some strange runic language, a hieroglyph of indeterminacy. Still, although I study that picture often, stare at it, touch it, even run my finger down the image of the fault trace, there's a way in which it blurs into abstraction, revealing less than meets the eye. I love earthquake photos, love to ponder them, to dream my way beneath their two-dimensional surfaces. But ultimately, if my investigations have taught me anything, it's that a photo can only tell us so much, after all. In Parkfield, though, I don't need to think in terms of photographs, because the San Andreas is everywhere. It's the first thing I see upon arrival and the last I leave behind when I go. From Cholame Valley Road, I turn right and literally drive straight into it, a winding serpentine that unfurls beneath a one-lane bridge reinforced with concrete pylons, where a battered metal sign announces, San Andreas Fault. Now entering North American Plate. Here, the San Andreas resembles nothing so much as a dry riverbed, about 100 feet wide, covered in gravel, lichen, mud and bits of brush, with the merest trickle of water cutting a dirty chasm through the rocks and loose debris.